All right, let's dive in. Today, we're heading on an expedition deep into the heart of some of the world's most mysterious lost cities. We're going to uncover how they lived, why they vanished, and how they were eventually found again. These are incredible stories of human genius and sometimes sudden, dramatic collapse. Let's get started.
We're not just talking about stones and monuments. These were real, living, breathing places full of people. And the silence they left behind? Well, that tells one heck of a story.
So first up, we're looking at cities that didn't disappear overnight in some big catastrophe. No, these are places that faded away slowly, fighting a long battle against nature and economics until finally there was just no one left.
And this is where it gets really interesting. You've got Petra in the middle of the desert and Machu Picchu way up in the mountains, two cities in totally opposite extreme environments. Their biggest challenge was always their location. But here's the twist. The same incredible ingenuity they used to conquer their environment couldn't save them from things that were completely out of their control.
So you got to ask yourself, how on earth does a massive city survive, let alone thrive, in the middle of a bone-dry desert? Well, Petra's secret was water. They were absolute masters of water management. I mean, look at this system. They engineered this incredible network to capture, channel, and store every single precious drop of rain. It's what allowed a whole metropolis to just bloom in one of the most unforgiving places on the planet. But you know, even the most brilliant engineering can't stop the world from changing around you. Think about how global supply chains shift today. Well, the same thing happened back then. Trade moved from land caravans to sea routes, and suddenly Petra wasn't on the main highway anymore. The final nail in the coffin was a monster earthquake in 363 AD that completely wrecked their water systems. So with no trade and no water, the great city just slowly emptied, and the desert took it back.
Okay, so now let's jump from the desert all the way up into the mountains. In the Andes, the Incas had a totally different problem: constant earthquakes. And their solution was just staggering. This idea of dry stone construction, where buildings are designed to literally dance with the Earth's tremors, that's a level of engineering that's pretty mind-boggling even for us today.
And this is the wildest detail of all. 0. That's how much mortar, cement-like stuff, they used to hold this city together. None. Every single one of those massive stones was carved so perfectly that they fit together like a 3D jigsaw puzzle. That's what gave the walls the flexibility to survive centuries of earthquakes. It is an absolutely incredible testament to the skill of Incan stonemasons.
All right, so we've seen cities that used incredible engineering to master their environments. But now we're shifting gears. We're going from places that faded away over centuries to one that vanished in a single instant. The story of Pompeii isn't about a slow decline at all. It's about a sudden, catastrophic end that, ironically, created a perfect time capsule of the past.
And that's the absolute key difference here. While Petra and Machu Picchu slowly emptied out, Pompeii was a bustling, lively Roman city one moment and a tomb the next. There was no time to run, no time to pack your bags, no time for the city to crumble into ruin. It was simply stopped. To really get what happened, you have to try and wrap your head around the sheer power of this event. The eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD wasn't just big, it was a cataclysm on an almost unimaginable scale. The energy it released was 100,000 times more powerful than an atomic bomb. It buried the entire city in just minutes. But that insane destructive power had a strange side effect: perfect preservation. The 20 feet of ash acted like a vacuum seal. So centuries later, when archaeologists started digging, they found life exactly as it was lived that day. Loaves of bread were still in the ovens. You could read political graffiti and jokes scribbled on the walls. And most hauntingly, they found empty spaces in the hardened ash left by the victims' bodies. By carefully pouring plaster into these voids, they created these incredibly tragic casts of people in their final moments. Okay, from ruins buried in ash, we're now diving beneath the waves. This is where we find cities that weren't really lost to memory. They actually survived for centuries as myths, as legends, until modern archaeology came along and proved they were real all along. And that's really the big question for these next two places, isn't it? For thousands of years, cities like Dwarka and Thonis-Heracleion were just stories, something you'd read about in ancient texts. But finding them completely blurs that line between mythology and history. It proves that sometimes, the greatest legends are actually based on fact. So let's look at these two incredible stories.
You have Dwarka, the mythical golden city of Lord Krishna from the Mahabharata, and then you have Thonis-Heracleion, a legendary port in Egypt. Both were swallowed by the sea, but for different reasons. Dwarka was likely lost to rising sea levels, while Thonis-Heracleion fell victim to something called soil liquefaction. Basically, the ground beneath it turned to liquid during an earthquake. And the treasures they found? Massive city walls, ancient anchors, colossal statues, all of it proving these mythical places were absolutely real.
And get this, the story of Dwarka is still being written right now. It started as a story in a sacred text, then it became a real archaeological site in the 80s. And just recently, new expeditions are using advanced sonar to map out even older, deeper parts of the city. We're talking about a history that could go back more than 4,000 years. This isn't just ancient history. It's an active discovery happening as we speak.
You knew we had to go here, right? No journey into the world of lost cities would be complete without talking about the big one, the ultimate legend that has captured our imaginations for millennia.
So here's the crucial thing to remember. Our entire modern idea of a great advanced civilization that just vanished. It all comes from one guy, Plato. He was the first to describe this powerful empire that was completely swallowed by the sea in, as he put it, a single day and night of misfortune. That is the blueprint for every lost city story that came after.
So the billion-dollar question. Was it real? Well, the theories are all over the map. Some think Plato was describing a distorted memory of the Minoan civilization, which was wiped out by a massive volcano. Others point to strange geological formations. And of course, many believe Plato just made the whole thing up as a philosophical lesson. But in a way, it doesn't matter if it was real. Atlantis has become this powerful metaphor for how fragile even the most advanced societies are in the face of nature's power.
Okay, so we've explored cities lost to sand, to ash, and to water. What's the big takeaway here? Well, the lesson these ancient places teach us isn't really about the past. It's about us, right now.
This really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? These cities, and all their incredible glory and their tragic ruin, they hold up a mirror to our own world. Their stories feel surprisingly familiar. We see economies suddenly shift. Just like in Petra, we see the terrifying threat of natural disasters, just like Vesuvius. And we see the slow, steady danger of rising sea levels. The exact same forces that brought down these mighty civilizations are absolutely still at play today.
And that's the thought I want to leave you with. These ruins are the stories the Earth tells about the people who came before us. So it makes you wonder, if our own cities were to fall silent one day, what story would be left behind for future explorers to find?